Alright, hello YouTube! I'm Tricky1300, and in this video I'm going to show you, as briefly as possible, how to torrent if you haven't done a torrent before or you're a little confused on how to specifically do it. It's super simple. It doesn't take a computer genius to figure out, not to figure out, but to torrent. And I understand if you're a little confused. I was confused for probably longer than anyone else because I never asked questions to my friends and I always just looked at it and made a stupid face. So I'll show you right now what we're gonna do. Let's get into it. Okay, so first you want to get this little guy over here. This is your uTorrent program. It is a torrent client. You need this to manage all of your torrents, so let's go ahead and download that first. I'll put a link in the description, but you know, I just want to show you everything. Okay, so you get to utorrent.com. There are two different torrent clients, managers. There's uTorrent and there's BitTorrent. I prefer and suggest uTorrent. It's good. It shouldn't be, too much different than BitTorrent. Anyways, you click Get uTorrent right here on the right. I'm gonna put the link to this page right here. You'll click this little guy, free download, and it'll take you right here. Congratulations, you just installed the world's #1 BitTorrent client like a boss. And it'll go to your downloads. So you save it wherever you want. You can probably hear this a lot. I'll save it to my desktop. Actually, I'm not going to save it at all because I already have it. It'll save, and then you want to open it just to make sure it's working. Don't X out your browser just yet, but minimize it, because we're going to go back to it in a sec. Actually, you don't need to really do any of it. Well, yeah, just see if your uTorrent client is working. So yes, mine is on right here. This is uTorrent with a ton of torrents. And we'll get into what this stuff means in a little bit. So to X out uTorrent, because you can't just click the X button on the top right, it'll go back down here on the bottom right, and it won't permanently go away. The application won't stop running, and it'll slow down your computer a bit. And if you have a slow dinosaur like mine, it'll really slow it down. So you go to the top left, you go to File, Exit, it'll ask you one or more torrents have not finished. I don't know why it says that, but you just say yes. It'll say yes, and it'll always say that, at least for me. If not for you, good. Okay, so you go back to your browser, and since you've already finished half the battle with uTorrent, now you just gotta get your torrent. So let's go to this website called torrentz.eu, torrentz.eu. This is your search engine, and from here you just type in what torrent you want. And I'm dedicating this to my friend Manny, and I think he wants to get Reason, I think. Well, and for the video's purposes, let's go to Reason 5. You can get whatever you want. You can get music. I'll show you how to put music into iTunes really quickly and all that good stuff. But for a program, it's the same thing for now. So whenever you get a torrent, you usually want to get one to the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, somewhere around there. You don't want to go too far down because it just gets off track, or it just doesn't get, it's a worse torrent. So then you want to scroll down here. You don't always have to do this. I just go for the first couple ones and see which one's the best. But if you do want to, you can go over to the right and look at this green number, that 804 in green. That is your seeders. A seeder is a person who has already downloaded the torrent and is giving back information to the World Wide Web so other people can download it faster. It sounds weird, but basically the more seeders there are on a torrent, the faster your download will be. This blue one right here is leechers. Most people are confused with leechers. They think that they get a torrent and they don't seed it. It's actually, a leecher is actually someone who is downloading the torrent as we speak. So if it slows the download, it slows down your download. But if there's in this case 804 seeders and 44 leechers, you shouldn't have a problem whatsoever getting it really fast. So let's click the first one, because I know this one's good. Then it gives you these bunch of websites, all of these. The 4 ones that I like to use, mainly I like to use this one called the piratebay.sx. Pirateproxy.se also works. Pirate Bay is very good. And if you don't have a Pirate Bay, if it doesn't give you the option of a Pirate Bay, because sometimes it won't, I would suggest, if it does give you the option, Kickass Torrents or katproxy.com. But let's go to Pirate Bay, because it's, in my opinion, the best torrent website. So it'll bring you here to your on the Pirate Bay, see up there, and it'll say up here, and it's 758 seeders. That is a lot of seeders. That's really good. That'll make your download super fast. And 43 leechers. And I mean, that's not that much, but and it won't slow it down. If it's this big of a number for seeders, it doesn't really matter how many leechers there are, unless there's about the same amount of leechers there are seeders. So I've decided I like this torrent. I want to get it, and I click get this torrent. And the nice thing is, it'll take you automatically to your uTorrent, and it'll ask you on the top left, where would you like to save your torrent? You know, documents, Reason 5, you could put it in your downloads, desktop, wherever. And then you just click down here, OK, and it'll say waiting for torrent information. You don't need to worry about that. You just don't need to worry about that. Click OK, and I'm just going to delete this because I already have this and I don't want to delete it. So my torrent started downloading, and eventually it'll be finished. And there's a couple things you see here. There's queued seed. I'm pretty sure that just means for some reason the computer decides to not seed me, but it's ready to seed. It doesn't matter what it says. As long as your torrent is finished, you're fine. Like error invalid download, it doesn't matter. That's actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the torrent whatsoever. And then seeding means, you know, one of those seeders that other people see is me for Adobe Photoshop. So the last thing I'll show you guys, because you've now gotten your torrent, you're done. Basically, I'll show you how to put two things in. I'll show you quickly how to put music in, if you get an album or something. So let's go to zclarity EP. I'll double click it. You can also right click it and open containing folder. It goes to the same place. You click continue. Whew, talking fast. Then here's your music. You can usually, you know, every album will have something like digital booklet clarity, whatever, forget that. You can either double click this song but then you'd have to double click all of the songs, and it'll automatically open each and every one of them in iTunes. But the quicker way is to go to iTunes, go to the very top left if you have the most updated version, add file to library, and then find this file wherever this may be. In my case, it's users, guest, desktop, downloaded music, zclarity EP. You can go on iTunes and you would find that file, and there's your music. So what you do is you click the very top one or the very bottom one, hold down shift, then click the very bottom one, and it'll select all of them. You click open, and your music's in your iTunes. You're done with that. You repeat that as many times as you like. I suggest not going overboard, because trust me, you really can get in trouble. But you know, that's how you do it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not encouraging you to do this, but I'm showing you for educational purposes. Now I'll show you how to, for educational purposes, put in a program. I'm not going to show you how to put a specific program in, but, you know, there's NI massive torrent. Here we go. I'll just click continue, and it'll have something like this, or it'll be a RAR file, or a 7-zip file. I mean a .zip file. I'm sorry. There's not really much I guess I can teach you about programs. I use 7-zip, by the way. I think it's better than WinRAR. No ads. It also has this neat little select all button. Anyways, yeah, if you get a program, it'll usually on the website, in this case Reason 5 on Pirate Bay, has its instructions right down here on the page. Extract using WinRAR, mount and install using daemon tools or any other disk image emulator, all the good stuff. Yeah, those are your instructions. Usually most programs will have instructions, and if they don't, what I do is, if I don't know how to install it already, I go on YouTube and figure that out. And if you really want me to make a video on how to install a program, I'll gladly do it. So that's all I have for now. My next video, I'll show you how to take a couple precautions to make sure your torrent, not make sure, but a couple precautions to make your torrenting a little safer. You don't need to do it if you're only going to have a couple torrents. You really don't need to. But if you're planning to torrent a lot, you're going to need something, if not a paid version of things. But I'll show you a couple free ways to do that. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tricky1300, and have a great swell day.